Hello and welcome back. In the previous episodes, we started the restoration of two glorious HP 16702 logic analyzers, an A version and a B version. We took both of them apart and started working on the A. We swapped the dead SCSI disk with a SCSIknife disk emulator, reignited the instrument, changed the battery, added missing resistors, swapped the turbo fans for low noise ones, which transformed the entire user experience from an unruly monster to a tame instrument. And while we reignited it, we also added some super useful software hidden on the install CD. However, to activate it, we need to install licenses. Remember, this is the beginning of the evil HP era. Fortunately, this instrument's processor comes from an HP 9000 workstation, and it runs on the same HPUX underneath. It's been cosmetically altered to look like Windows 95 for some reason, but it is real Unix underneath. Which means it's 100% hackable provided you know the super user password and have sharp Unix foo command line skills. Or should I say HPUX foo, which of course is ever so subtly different in every way from what you'd expect. So let's hack into our HPUX installation to hack our licenses in, using the oh so powerful but oh so frustrating command line. Nothing like spending an entire day at the Unix prompt to make a simple command work. But in the end, we'll be rewarded by a good game of Doom. We'll do that on our second unit, the 16702B, which is now also up and running. Alright, I repaired the second one, did the same mods, changed all the fans so it's now quieter, those are the 5 fans. Added the battery under the card. What else did I do? The modification for the pull-ups so it makes the keyboard and the mouse easier. And if you remember, this one had a failure on the LAN, and I thought it was the card, but it turns out it's the software, which is why when I sucked the software from this one, put in the other one, the LAN also failed. So I reignited it with a CD 02.80. The CD-ROM works in here, so it's really easy. So there's the original disk, original CD, and that got rid of the error. And configure LAN. No, it's okay. It's all green. And then it would fail before at network, so it's all green too. So it's all good to go. It will boot. I also added the extra software. So now we are going to add the licenses, and we're going to break into Unix. Starting up. Okay, it did it. Exactly, let's see what options we have. Admin, software install, list, and it has the auxiliary software. And let's see how many processors we have. All of Agilent's processor support. Okay, so we should have everything we need. So now we need to go into admin licensing. Okay, and now it has all these new packages that it asks licenses for. You can demo them, but that's not what we need. So by the way, I saved and re-imported the licenses, but this instrument had nothing in it, so it's basic. In HPUX we hack, and that starts by Control Shift Alt F8, which brings up a X terminal. Can I make it bigger? Yes. Oh, very good. Actually, I make it giant. Then you do super user, and the root password has been hacked. So su root, and the password is There you go, and we are in super user. Well, actually, let's see what's in the machine. Oh, I want to go to the root. and see what's in the machine. So you see the standard Unix stuff, and this is way closer to Bell Labs Unix System 5 rather than modern Linux. So the first thing is I have put the licenses as a text file on the floppy. So we are now confronted with a simple vintage computer task. The license numbers are in a formatted text file on the floppy, which I created on a Windows machine. Our simple admin task of the day is to copy the file from the floppy disk to the hard disk via the command line. Piece of cake, right? Well, no friends, this is freaking 1990s HPUX. We have to mount the file system first, which is a Windows formatted disk. Windows, the weakling competitor of HPUX, which is sure going to take over the enterprise world, of course. So its disks were incompatible with HPUX. And the floppy is not mounted, so I have to find where it lives. IO scan. Okay, IO scan. Floppy is 8.16.10.1. So typical Unix, you can do everything, but everything is awfully obscure and difficult. But I don't think that will help me mount anything. So we want to go into the device directory dev and do a list of that. Is my floppy living in floppy or in our floppy? cd floppy ls, give me c0 t1 d0, and in our floppy is give me the same thing. And then where the heck is the CD-ROM in that thing? In disk maybe? DSK? Yeah, I would bet this is the T6 is the hard drive and the T1 is the CD-ROM. So let's go back to root. Okay, and let's make a mount point. Make dear floppy mount -t MS-DOS. So I found that online, of course. So that's to mount in MS-DOS file system /dev /floppy /c0 T1 D0, and we'll mount it in floppy. We'll see if we have any luck. Oh, it didn't like the MS-DOS option, so that's not a valid option for that version of HPUX. Man mount. Alright, this is going to be painful. So indeed, I looked it up. There is no such thing as DOS support here to mount the file, but you can to mount the diskette, but you can copy is DOS copy /dev / it's our floppy apparently that you have to use our floppy / it was C0 T1 D0. It's called license.txt. Might be just easier to type it out, it's not that long, but I want to get my Unix foo going. To /license.txt. Oops. Let's try that. Could not open dev rfloppy C0 T1 D0 license.txt for reading. History. Okay, I have to enable it. There is no history. Gee. Okay, so history is not enabled by default. Alright, so try with Floppy. Could not open for reading. Oy.
Many hours later.
Okay, it's now getting dark outside, but I figured how to do it. Control Alt F8 to bring up the window of the terminal. Make a big terminal window. Oh, let's move you out a little bit and try to manual focus on it. There you go. And from here, the license file is at HPLogic/licensing. There you go. I have some other files, but originally I just had license.dat, which is the original file. So if I look at it, it just has the basic entry, basic license. It comes when it installs. So what I need to is bring it the new license file, and which is a text file, which is on the DOS diskette. But the DOS diskette is not easily accessible. First, you have to find what the disk is, and you do IOScan -fn big C floppy. Oh, can't do that. For first, you have to be root. Super user root password there we go. And now it is, what was that? IOScan -fn big C floppy. It's not impressive. There we go. Oh, found it. Floppy dev.floppy /cot1d0 dev/rfloppy cot1d0. But you can't access it directly. Only the DOS tools will be able to read it. So you do DOS ls DOS list of dev / let's try floppy. I tried rfloppy before, it worked. cot1d0. And there was a trick, you need a semicolon at the end, or if it doesn't work. There you go, here's my floppy, and I have my license.txt file here. In which directory I am? I'm still in licensing, great. So I do then DOS copy /dev /floppy C0T1D0 semicolon license.txt, and then I'll copy here locally in license.extra, and that should read it. And I had done it before, so it's already there. It wants me to overwrite it. Okay, and now it's here. I'm going to edit it using VI. It's the 1980s all over again, or even 1990s. That's when I first used VI. And because it has a few extra lines I don't want, the first one, which is a repeat, and then it has the characters at the end, which are the DOS returns. So I X them, X, 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 X. Then I column right quit. There we go. And now if I cat it, it should be all clean. It is. So now I VI the license.dat, right, which has my 2 lines. I go in the last line and I do column R for reading license dot extra. Oh, I put it right there. And here we go, we have all our new licenses in. I like to terminate with an empty line, there we go. And now I do, oops, nope, I was in insert mode, escape, column, right quit, exit, cat, nice, license, like that. It now has my two original lines plus a whole bunch of lines that came from the secret file, which is not so secret, on the interwebs. I'll put the reference in the doodly-doo, of course. And now we're done. Exit. We're down, restart, and see if we have new licenses. Alright, it's back up. Let's see if we got our new licenses. Admin, licensing. Oh yes! We have all of our licenses here. Alright. Okay, I think that's a sweet setup. I'm going to make an image of the hard disk so it's all being configured and I can probably transport it to the other frame. And now for the best feature of the hacking, I have to show you something more. Let's go as super user. And now let's move to /user/local/doom/ and then there's one thing you have to do, though I found the hard way. You have to do export home equals and put your home directory. I made the directory as root. Now it will work, and we do /doom launch, and it can play over the Ethernet. And here's Doom! Minus the sound, but that's okay. You just call your friend Usagi Electric and it'll play Doom on his Bendix G15, so I'll have the music there. New game. Which episode? There we go. We have Doom. I've never played Doom, this is my first time. Oh, they are all dead, how come? There you go. Oh, no, he's not dead. And so on and so forth. I'm not sure what to do, but this looks very amusing. I can shoot at everything. Okay, we quit. Bye-bye. That was it. Doom on the logic analyzer. So it's a full-fledged computer. So if it would do a very nice portable computer now that it's quiet. But we want to do logic analysis, right? And that's more fun. Alright, come to think of it, I'm not entirely sure about that statement that logic analysis is more fun than Doom. But logic analysis is what we will eventually do in the next episode. See you then!